Absolute carnage. Last week was rough. 3 players went out injured in the first half, 2 of them in the first quarter, so our lucky 15 was dead before it even had a chance to breathe. And the quarterback fivefold, that vanished with Daniel Jones limping off early in the game for the Colts. But if there's a silver lining, it gave me a bit of time to step back and think about what we're doing here, about how we close out the season strong, and about how we avoid weeks like that, or at least limit the damage. So here's what we're going to do for week 15. We've got £100 in the kitty, and we're keeping the structure simple, 60, 30, 10, but from now on, whatever returns we hit, we will roll into week 16, where those amounts become 60%, 30%, and 10% of our new pot. We'll also be making fewer picks, not just to avoid injuries, but to cut down on the overthinking, the overstacking, and let's be honest, the occasional dodgy call from myself. Now, fewer selections, more focus, bigger swings, and with a bit more control. Let's get into week 15. With £100 in the kitty this week, we're keeping it simple, and £60 of that goes into this section of the show, spread across 3 strong doubles and 1 combined treble, all at 5-2, all based on players in defined roles with very gettable lines. Selection 1, Jaguars versus the Jets. We kick things off in Jacksonville, Everbank Stadium, right on the river, where the Jags take on a Jets side that looks completely out of ideas. They might be without a quarterback and potentially without Breece Hall too. The Jags, on the other hand, are chasing just their 3rd playoff appearance in 17 years and coming to this one full of confidence after a solid win over the Colts. We're backing 2 of their key pieces. Tight end Brenton Strange over 34.5 receiving yards. He's grown into a reliable option in the short to mid-game and could see increased volume if the Jags control the clock. And Trevor Lawrence over 14.5 rushing yards. Lawrence always tucks and runs 2 to 3 times a game minimum. Against this Jets defense, he should find room to move when the pocket breaks. £15 returns £52.50. Selection 2 is Patriots versus the Bills. Back in New England, the Patriots are 11-2, coming off a bye and already have a win over the Bills this season. This feels like a huge moment, a plant the flag game. We're backing 2 breakout performers. Kayshon Boutte over 29.5 receiving yards. We flagged him way back in week 2, and now he's the league leader in separation and beating coverage. He's become the go-to guy when they need a big play. Trevion Henderson over 45.5 rushing yards. 4 straight games over 60 yards for the rookie, and this Bills defense has shown cracks. We back him to go over 45.5 comfortably. £15 returns £52.50. Selection 3, Packers v Broncos. This is it for Denver, a game to say we are the real deal. They're looking to cement themselves at the top of the division, and nobody has beaten them at Denver all season. At Mile High, we don't expect them to go down without a fight. Troy Franklin over 27.5 receiving yards. He's carved out a consistent role as the Broncos' secondary option and should find space underneath with Sutton drawing coverage. A career-long teammate of Bo Nix, Franklin is always on hand to pick up the easy yards. RJ Harvey over 19.5 receiving yards. The definition of a dual threat, trusted in the screen game and regularly used as a safety valve when plays break down. This line is low and we think he can clear it with 1 or 2 grabs. £15 returns £52.50. Selection 4, the treble. All 3 of those doubles combined into a full treble. Strange Lawrence, Boutte Henderson, Franklin Harvey, all at 5-2. Individually combined, the treble returns £643.12 from a £15 stake. So that's the 60, focused, condensed, and built on plays with solid rolls. Let's see if we can put a dent in week 15 and roll some profit into the Christmas run-in. This week's £30 goes into a sharp-looking spread double, built around 2 home teams we really like to deliver. The Chicago Bears, minus 6.5 versus the Cleveland Browns. This Bears team continues to evolve week by week, and back at Soldier Field, we think they'll handle a Browns side that's banged up and inconsistent on the road. Chicago have been dominant in recent home games, and a touchdown win feels very achievable. The Dallas Cowboys, minus 3.5 versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Cowboys have been solid at home all season and face a Vikings team still figuring things out at quarterback. Dallas have too much firepower on both sides of the ball, and if they play clean, they should cover this number without too much drama. The double pays £86.38 from the 30. It wouldn't be a bet shuffle episode without a proper Hail Mary, and for week 15, our 10 goes into a high upside 40-1 bet builder in the Cardinals at Texans game. The Arizona Cardinals are done for 2025 and they're heading to Houston to face CJ Stroud's playoff chasing Texans. So what's the play? We're backing Jacoby Brissett to have a day. Jacoby Brissett 300 plus passing yards, Michael Wilson 80 plus receiving yards, Michael Wilson anytime touchdown, and Trey McBride anytime touchdown. Brissett has quietly been putting up big numbers, even in defeats, with 3 games over 300 yards in his last 4, against very tough opposition. Whether it's garbage time or genuine fight, we don't care. Just get those yards. £10 returns £410, all on the arm of Jacoby Brissett. That wraps up week 15, and with a new structure, a smaller number of picks, and some sharper logic behind the lines, we're hoping to bounce back in style. As always, if you're tailing any of the bets, do it responsibly. Only stake what you can afford to lose, and remember, it's a long game. We'll be back next week with week 16, unbelievably, and whatever we hit this week will be rolled forward using that same 60-30-10 split. Fewer picks, smarter swings. Let's keep building. Good luck, and we'll see you all next week.